There's our load. Mostly firewood. Up at the front there's a little bit of brush underneath the firewood. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome back to Procrastination Garage. It's Monday morning around 8:30 a.m. Headed back over to the rental. Mainly just going over there to turn the telehandler back to the neighbor and then to clean up all the materials that I brought over, like plywood, safety gear and stuff like that. The yard cleanup, that's a big project. That'll get started here shortly, but probably not today. So Saturday, the only goal was to cut the willow tree to top it, basically. And we got that done. I had a new friend helping me. His name was Bob. I truly appreciate Bob coming over. Unfortunately, I failed in the video department. I was all set up to record, and I hit the record button, but apparently I must have also bumped it back off again as I walked away because nothing recorded, which is too bad because that was the biggest part of that willow tree, and that would have been worth seeing come down, especially because it nearly killed me, because when it came down right next to me, and if there had been any big branches above, man, they would have just probably slammed into my head. I did have my helmet on. And I wasn't that high off the ground, but still, that one scared me a little bit. All the other stuff, that was the one that really scared me. There were other ones that scared me from a perspective of doing damage to my house or the neighbor's hay barn. But none of those other cuts that went wrong or a little wrong, I didn't feel like it was a life or death situation. So anyway, that's it. I'm not gonna do a lot of recording today. I may show you, walk around, show you a little bit, but we'll see. The telehandler is all cleaned up and ready to go back, and the only reason it hasn't because there's nobody home next door, and they've got a entry gate and it's closed and locked right now. So there's what the weeping willow looks like now. Do you remember before picture? It went way up there. Anyway, so I'm just cutting up some of these pieces. I'm gonna hook the I've got the trailer unhooked back there. I'm gonna go ahead and hook that up, get the tractor on, take that home. A bunch of other stuff that I loaded in the back of the truck already. I'm just trying to clear a path through here. So I'm just cutting some of these chunks up into firewood. Let me show you something. So here's my new DeWalt saw, and the one flaw it has is it does eject the chain fairly easily. Now, if you're just cutting logs, doing like you're supposed to, it's not really a big deal. But I was using the tip of it and trying to cut into, see if I can show you. I was cutting into this stuff here, and it doesn't like that. If it catches just right, it throws it off. And I think the reason is, I don't think it's got anything to do with it being a DeWalt. I do think it's a battery problem, in that all the battery saws have these really thin bars and really fine chains, and they're just not as rugged when it comes to doing stuff that might throw them off. The other thing is if the chain gets loose at all, that's a big contributor. So chain just came off a few minutes ago. This is probably the 7th or 8th time the chain has come off over the 3 days. But let me tell you, I mean, the bulk of the cutting I've done has been with that saw. Only on the really big stuff, when I needed my 24-inch bar, did I use that one. This one is so much nicer, so quiet, it cuts really well, it's got a fresh chain on it. Overall, I'm very happy with it. I'm not sending it back. And in time, I will learn to be more careful with the tip of it and stuff and not have it throw chains. But overall, I think it's a pretty good purchase. It's a heavy little thing. It weighs about as much as my 24-inch Husky does. Not as light as my nice little Ryobi 16-inch. But that's a trade-off, I guess. Anyway, I'll fix the chain and do some more cutting. It's a little after 11 a.m. and I've been doing some cleanup in this area, can you tell? But this is just busy work. This is not the kind of cleanup I want to do, because really all I was doing was moving all the stuff that was out here and putting it over here. And the reason is just to clean it up, to get my truck through, hook up the trailer, get the tractor loaded. I'm going to come back over with the green truck, and I'm going to start loading stuff in the back of it. So this one, because it's got a bed liner in it, stuff can get down in between the bed and the bed liner. Plus the sides are higher on this one. Green truck's just more of a work truck. So I'll bring it over, and my goal is take firewood and this other junk and get home and kind of sort it. The firewood will go in one pile, and the other stuff I'll probably start burning it. So can you tell I've done some cleanup now? Well, you can if you look in the back of the truck. It's around 2:30. I'm headed home, gonna do some burning, gonna unload some firewood and whatever else. But I'm done over here for today. Probably won't be back tomorrow, maybe back on Wednesday. We'll see. It's a beautiful fall morning, Wednesday, about 9 a.m. And while I should be doing work around here, I mean, I've still got the white truck to unload. Need to get rid of put the air compressor back in the shop. Took that over and blew out one of the rentals yesterday, irrigation system. Got tons of things to do down in the shop. Still need to get the boat back in the shop. Need to start working on that snowmobile trailer. But you know what? We're doing none of that. Isn't that right, Bailey? Hey, little girl. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head for the hills for the day. There's an area up there, a place we snowmobiled in the past, kind of a cutoff trail. Fire came through there a couple years ago and we haven't used it since. I'm not sure what shape it's in. I can't seem to find it from the top where it intersects the road. So we're going to start down at the bottom and we're going to hike up and mark it if we can. Maybe cut some logs out of the way if there are some. I don't know. But we just need to get up in the mountains for the day because I didn't get up in the mountains last week and I'm just feeling like I need to go. It's 10 a.m. and we're on our way to Natchez and then headed up on Chinook Pass. I don't know if I mentioned that. Weather, if you look at the low clouds hanging over the hills, the mountains are obscured this morning. So I'm thinking we might get wet. Hopefully it'll be snow. I haven't seen any snow. Might be rain. Today is about having a pleasant day. So if the weather gets miserable, and we probably won't get out of the truck and hike, but we'll just drive around a little bit, or who knows, just playing it by ear, but let's get up there. Made it to the 1600 road. This road leads up to Clover Springs, but we're not going to follow it that far. Just about to the spot where we're going to get out and hike. Got a couple of snowflakes coming down. So I'm out hiking. Here's the old logging road that I'm following. Headed up it. Can you see we're starting to get a little bit of snow? Kind of a snow-ice mix. Yeah, fun. It's 1 o'clock and we made it back to the truck. Gonna go ahead and start trekking towards home. Had a pretty good hike. What I did determine is that this route is open all the way through. We can snowmobile it this winter, and that's great because this is kind of a fun little trail. Back on the Nile Road and headed home. Hey, just taking a break. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and write a comment down below. Please tell all your friends, and if you haven't, check some of my older videos. Thanks. It's Thursday, just after noontime. Bailey's out here helping me. The goal is to do some winterizing today. So motorhome is down in the shop, need to pull it out and drain the water out of it. That tank is a big tank and it drains slow. So if it doesn't drain in time today, we won't be able to finish winterizing it, but we'll give it a shot. And then we need to put the patio furniture away. We have irrigation stuff we need to wrap up still. So that's kind of the project of the day. So let me go ahead and get the motorhome out of the shop and start it draining. We got to move a couple pickups out of the way. Maybe just one pickup for now. Maybe no pickups? I don't know. We'll see. I've got the hot water tank draining. And then if you come down into here, you can see water coming. That's the water tank. And that's one that takes forever. Now we can take care of the irrigation here at the house. Luckily, everything is a gravity drain. I don't have to blow anything out. It's a matter of opening faucets, disconnecting hoses, and then doing some final prep work up at the pump. So I'll just go ahead and do it. Here we are at the southeast corner. Just need to open this valve up and disconnect that hose. I went ahead and stretched out the hose also. And so that brings us to faucet number 2. Another hose stretched out brings us to faucet number 3. We've made it to the southwest corner of the grass, and we've got a couple of ball valves here to open. I have a ball valve in there to open, and then I've got 2 down in that hole there. And see, everything is at the bottom of the property, everything drains downhill, so that's good. And of course, another faucet and another hose. My buddy Bear decided to come down and help me, and I should have said hoses, because that one over there comes there and runs to a sprinkler that I drag around, so we also need to drain that sprinkler out. There was actually a little bit of ice in the sprinkler line here, so I've got it tipped up so it'll drain. You can see it's draining water. Temperature's above freezing. Oops, that's not going to work. Need to tip that back up and just leave it so any ice melts out of it. Alright, I've got it propped in the tree better this time. I've got 3 more valves to open, one there. Here. And here. And then also there is a drain plug. Sure you can see it. Right there. Well, I say everything drains by gravity. It's not completely true. This one corner down here is just a little low, so that's the reason I put that plug in it. The water's been off for a couple weeks. This is what the pond looks like. Sure wish it would hold water. Anyway, we've got some work to do down here on the ugly property. We've got to close one more valve over here. I'm sorry, open one more valve here. And then this piece here, which kind of creates a little fountain when water is flowing through it, we need to screw it and rotate it down. Like that. I'm back over this faucet and valve, because this valve here, that's the one that leads down to the pond. The problem is I have a drain down there, and it's always a pain. I always have to dig it out, get it unscrewed. So I kind of put it off, but we're going to do it right now. See it down there? It's just a little buried. It's usually worse than that. So I'll get that knocked out here real quick. For tools I bring along, I bring a pair of channel locks, I bring a flathead screwdriver, and I bring a small pair of vice grips. And the screwdrivers for digging out the dirt. That one was a real pain in the butt down there. In fact, I had to go get a different pair of pliers, a little bit bigger. So, I don't know, can you tell? It's raining. More importantly, up in the mountains, it's snowing. They were forecasting 8 to 12 inches of snow up on White Pass today. Hope it happens. Are we nearing the end of our journey? Yeah, we're getting there. We've got another valve down in here. Need to open that. One over here. One down in there. And then this one here, next to this one that is always open. Finally, we're nearing the end. So, need to make sure all these valves open all the way. That one there. One to the neighbor should already be open. And then we'll run the pump just for a minute. Shoot out any water that's in it. On the back side of the weir, I've got one valve there. I've got a boat plug down there next to the vice grips. You see it? A lot of water draining through there. And finally, down there, I don't know if you can see, there's a pipe in there. Underneath that pipe, there is another boat plug. And there's the plug removed and the hole full of water. So irrigation is done. Oh, I lied. Did you guys catch it? There's one more cap right down there that needs to be pulled. Then I'm done. Up next is patio furniture, which should be hanging right up there. And I've got these little hoist things that are meant for bicycles and whatnot. So those need to be lowered down to the ground. Of course, toolboxes, UTV, fuel cans, and some other stuff is in the way. So let me get that stuff out of the way. Both hoists are lowered down, ready for furniture. I've got the patio furniture all loaded up, ready to hoist it to the sky. All done, everything hanging from the rafters. It's Monday afternoon around 2 p.m. It's kind of funny how time gets away from you, haha. So still haven't finished winterizing this motorhome. Did get the water drained out of it last week, so I'm gonna go ahead and blow it out right now. I had drained the hot water heater. I had pulled the anode out to drain it, so I put the anode back in. It's in there tight. Also, there is a bypass that I can use when I'm blowing this system out, and probably it's mainly used probably if you're going to pump RV antifreeze through it, but we're not doing that. Anyway, I closed the bypass valve, so no air is going to go through the hot water heater. Drop the pressure down on the air compressor to about 50 psi so we don't blow the water lines out of the thing, and we're all hooked up. Now go inside and just start opening faucets and blow the water out. I'm not sure if you can tell, I also have the gray water tank open, so any water that comes out of the faucet and goes down the drain will drain on outside. I guess starting at the kitchen sink is as good a place as any. Look at all that water. Cold water too. Alright, I'll let this one run for a while, then I'll do the bathroom sink, the shower, and then also there's a sprayer for the toilet. We'll get all those done. Everything's blown out. Now all we need to do is we need to go down in here, and I don't know if you can see it, there's a water valve down there. I need to open a drain valve, and then there's two down by the kitchen sink. There's the two underneath the kitchen sink right there. It's late Tuesday morning, around 11:30 a.m. and we're just doing random stuff. Pretty much this whole week we're just doing random stuff. So right now headed over to rental number 1 to pick up a load of firewood and or brush that needs to be burned, and then we'll bring that home. Unfortunately it's really windy today, so I'm not going to probably do any burning, but at least bring some firewood home, and then brush, we'll burn that first thing in the morning, and maybe we'll go over and get another load. I do need to do some work on the UTV. I say work, upgrades, I don't know. Get ready, because we're going to take it for a ride on Thursday, probably last ride of the season. I say last ride of the season, but is it? It's hard to say for sure. Snow is up in the mountains. In fact, I expect we will encounter snow on Thursday. Some people have already been up snowmobiling, about 14 inches of snow. Not real good because there's no base to it, so they're sinking down to the ground. But anyway, it's a start, so we'll see. Halfway serious, halfway joking. I always plan our first club snowmobile ride for about the middle week of November, around the 15th. And I do tentatively have one scheduled, but we're going to need more snow up there before that happens. But like I said, there's snow up there. If we get some more on top of it, I'd say we're probably in pretty good shape. Can you hear the wind blowing? Can you see the wind blowing? Yeah, the one tree we didn't take down. Anyway, this is what we're working on today. We're not going to get all of it cleaned up, but every truckload counts. It's 1 p.m. Does it look any different? I'm saying yes. And let me show you the proof. There's our load. Mostly firewood. Up at the front there's a little bit of brush underneath the firewood. So we're not coming back in today. We're going to go home and unload this wood, and then we'll park the truck so we can burn the brush in the morning. The truck is unloaded of firewood. You can see the brush I got in there, not a whole lot. And my firewood pile has grown quite a bit. Now the problem with the firewood here is that some of it is dry and some of it's a little green. You just can't hardly tell. You can pick a piece up and kind of feel how heavy it is. And it's probably not going to dry a whole lot more before I need to burn it, if I'm going to burn it. I have a lot of wood around. I just have to be a little choosy. So, you know, mostly this wood will be used for our campouts up in the mountains and stuff. And the drier the better, because you know it's hard to start wet wood when it's cold out. Anyway, moving on to something else. Still Tuesday afternoon, about 3:30 p.m. I figured I'd work on getting the scaffolding put back together. And as I mentioned previously, the scaffolding was dinged a little bit. The one hand railing, that's the worst of it. I can live with that. I think I can fix it, but it doesn't matter. The problem is this piece here, which is one of those pieces there that the flooring goes on. I've got to get it in better shape. It's got a twist in it. You can see the bend there. You can see kind of a twist coming down here, and I don't know, she just kind of tweaked. So I tried putting it across some 2x4, jumping up and down, and that wasn't really fixing it. So we're going to use my truck as a press, and we're going to use a hydraulic jack, and we're going to see if we can bend it back that way. That's probably a pretty good shot right there, showing you that piece should be flat against the ground all the way across there, and it's not. A little better. Lifting the truck up. I guess we could move in. Check to make sure you guys are still in the picture there. Now that's quite a bit better. Looking down through there, that's fairly straight. Now we've got a couple spots right here. If we could flatten that a little bit and flatten that a little bit, that would probably make it look even straighter. And then back here, I don't know that it really matters. I could probably pull that back with a pair of vice grip pliers. Now the question is, how am I going to flatten that out? I need to get something long up underneath here and then pound down, but it's got to provide lots of support back there. Offhand, I'm not sure what that's going to be. Let me think about it. Better. I like it. Still have this one to do, but my board doesn't fit. I need a different 2x6. Back over here at the truck, and I flipped it over and jacked it up again, and the goal was take care of this spot right in here, and we got most of it, not quite all of it, but you can tell we're winning because the piece now stands up by itself on the floor, and it was not doing that before, and it did that when I first bought it, and the other piece does that. So I think I'm going to take one more shot at this, and then call it good. I mean, basically, right now it's close enough, and I still haven't bent back that little section right there. That's just more for looks than anything else. But let me see if I can put just a little more pressure on that. What do we think of that? You can see there's just a little bit of twist there. Not quite the center, like a third of the way over. I'd say it's close enough. And again, I still haven't tweaked that little part there. I'll do that. And I'd say we're done. There, the repaired piece is in place. Don't look too close. It's dinged. You can certainly tell it's dinged. But you know what? It'll do what it needs to do. So the only thing left to do now is do the railings. The one just goes back up. The other one needs to be fixed. That's a project for tomorrow or another day. All right, we've done it. We've reached the end of this episode of Procrastination Garage. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. So my apologies for the long absence. My last video was December 25th, Vlogmas, and I had intentions of getting right back on it, but just a lot going on and didn't get it done. I had the content. This content you saw in this video is from, before the snows came. So that was probably back in November timeframe. Anyway, check back. I'm going to say next week. I have all the content, but for sure within the next 2 weeks, I'll get another video up. Going to get back on schedule. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you soon.